So I recorded this video late last night thinking that it'd be a good idea to talk about ADHD when I'm about as close to really feeling its effects after a long night of door dashing and being very tired. Um, so it's about 1:04 a.m. right now. Maybe this isn't my best idea to do a video right now. But I told you that I wanted to do a video talking about what it's like for me having ADHD and sort of unpacking some of the things I've learned about it. I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to do that right after I finished a 7-hour shift of door dashing, which I just walked in from. I'm literally like, I'm running on a muffin I had 7 hours ago and moon mist. So that's what's keeping my clock ticking right now. But my meds have basically worn off by this point. At least they feel like they have. And this might be the one chance that you have to actually see what I'm like a little bit without my meds and with my ADHD on about as full of display as it's going to be. Good news is I do have ravioli now. How much do you love my ravioli bowl, by the way? Supernatural. Winchester's. Yeah. Okay, so I did jot down some things that I wanted to discuss, some of the things that I experienced. And this first one is probably really fitting that I'm going to talk about it first because it's insomnia. I have a hard time with getting the gears to stop, especially late at night. It's really hard for me not to think of 12 things that I need to do tomorrow, especially when the school year starts, because by that point, I'm thinking about what can I do with my lesson plan? How can I structure this better? How can I be a better teacher of whatever topic it is? And I'll constantly be thinking about things. I'll be thinking about what copies do I have to make in the morning? I'll be thinking about, do I have a meeting in the morning that I forgot about? Because I do sometimes forget when I've got meetings, and then I find out the morning of, oh yeah, I have a meeting today. And that's a whole other thing I'm going to get to in a little bit. But these are all things that constantly run through my brain as I'm trying to sleep. Sometimes it'll be ideas for stuff I want to write. Sometimes it'll be ideas for videos I want to make or t-shirt designs. I literally last night couldn't sleep because I kept thinking about a t-shirt design for later on. So that's one way that ADHD really does affect me, and it hits me pretty hard, is my sleep patterns are awful. In fact, I have meds specifically for that, but it also winds up making me really, really groggy the next morning. So during the school year, I, out of good conscience, can't take them because I will have a really hard time getting up in the morning. So this next point is something that I think a lot of Arrow and ACE folks can understand, how my ADHD really contributed to my anxiety and my depression by recognizing that I was different. Once I recognized that I couldn't keep up with other people, which really happened at a young age. Like for me, reading was really, really hard. Not because I couldn't phonetically read, not because I had comprehension barriers other than ADHD. I had a really hard time remembering what I just read. I had a really hard time blocking out other sounds. Like when a teacher, I don't do this in my classroom because I know what it's like. I do not give my students something to read and set a timer up on the board for when they have to finish. I check in with them and see how they're doing. I also try actively not to ask them all at once, like, okay, raise your hand if you're finished with the reading for today. I don't do that. I will check in with them one-on-one, or I will observe. Because I was that kid who, if a teacher asked that and I wasn't finished, I was going to raise my hand anyway because I didn't want people to know that I wasn't finished. I was that kid who, this actually really gave me anxiety. Even to this day, it still does. If I'm in a staff meeting and we have to read an article, which, believe it or not, does happen, I still find myself in this situation as a 34-year-old. If we're in a staff meeting and I have to read something and I hear or see other people turning the page and I haven't turned it yet, I get nervous. I get really anxious. Like, I'm literally a licensed reading teacher, and that isn't working for me. You know, it's just like asexuality and aromanticism are for me. They're journeys that are always going to be continuous, that I'm always going to be learning new things. Sometimes my brain will jump all over the place. Sometimes I'm going to hear a song. Oh man, what movie was that song in? And it's going to bother me if I can't think of what movie that song was in. That's going to really bother me. These are things I'm going to have to learn to just live with. I can talk to people about it now. I have a name for it now. I'm getting help for it now. But this is who I am. These are things that I haven't really talked about with a whole lot of people. But yeah, I can't turn that part of me off. Sometimes people find that annoying. And I know I shouldn't have to apologize for that, but I do anyway. I'm sorry. Sometimes I wish I would shut up too. If you have ADHD and feel comfortable discussing it, was there anything that I discussed in this video that you can relate to? Is there anything that I didn't discuss that you want to share with us? And if you don't have ADHD, what are you still wondering that I didn't talk about? Are there any questions that you still have? Let me know in this week's comment prompt. Now, the next time you see me, I will not have just finished a 7-hour DoorDash, but you can help me prevent having to do that by supporting my channel through my merch shop, which I just put some new t-shirts out a few days ago. I'm really excited about those. You can order my book, Limitless, Poetry of an Aromantic and Asexual Journey. And you can help support this channel by simply liking this video, sharing it out, and subscribing for more content. Thank you for being here and sticking through to this to the very end and giving me a chance to talk about this. And I just want to say I really appreciate all of you. Please remember to be good to each other and to yourselves. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm about to finish this ravioli.